Welcome, Illumineers and fans of the happiest card game on earth. My name's John T, and you're in the Inkwell. And this is Spicy or Trash. This is our irreverent take on the set review. Over the next 6 days, we're going to be taking a deep dive into each colour of ink in the first chapter of Disney's Lorcana. And we're going to be telling you which cards are playable and which cards fit better in a binder. In each episode, I'm going to be joined by a fellow content creator and friend, and it's going to be my job to get them to shoot from the hip, tell us how they really feel about the cards in this game. There's no room for nuance. They have 4 options. Each card can either be spicy, solid, mid, or trash. Let's see how they get on. Today is the colour of direct damage and beefy boys. So who better than Lorcana's own Man of Steel, Dan from the Forbidden Mountain. Dan from the Forbidden Mountain, thank you so much for joining us. What is it about Steel that really sort of sticks out at you?
I mean, what isn't it about Steel, right? I mean, you got it all, man. Like it's so exciting to play Steel. You get to dream crush people in like board presence and hand presence. You can do whatever you want, man. It's a whole new world, all right?
Oh, nice segue. But before we do that, I think Steel, out of all of the colours for me at least, Steel seems to be the one that can kind of go with all of the others as just a really good support colour. Like, it's got its own stuff, but it just seems to just really stand up well as the second colour in any deck, really.
Yeah. I love it.
So first of all, then, we do have a whole new world of 5-costed uninkable song. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. It's the Wheel of Steel. What do we think about this?
Oh, it's spicy. I mean,
it's 100% spicy, right?
It's not even a choice.
This card in any other card game is banned in that game.
Real good.
And it's usually because you can do other stuff with it, right? And at the moment it is, but like, so talk to me about it. Is it a problem that you're giving them 7 cards as well, or does that not even matter?
I think there is a little bit of a skill cap to it. You're obviously going to have to weigh the pros and cons within a given game, but I think more times than not, you're planning for it and they're not necessarily, which means you should have an edge in those game statuses anyway. So
yeah, that was something we noticed with a few of the Emerald cards where it's you're getting them to discard. And it's like, well, you're losing a card as well, but you're choosing when it happens.
Right.
And that is sometimes that's enough, right? Like, yes, you're both gaining 7 cards, but you're planning on gaining them and they're not.
Yeah, this is just, I think it's, as long as you're building your deck to, utilize it better than what your opponent should get out of it, oftentimes you'll be all right.
And that's enough, right? And it's singable, so it's free. Like, it's just gross.
It's a song, it's playable.
Insta-ban this card.
No, not yet.
Not yet, let's have some fun with it first.
Yeah, like in chapter 2 when there's some weird card that makes it, like, insane, then
it can go away, all right. 2-costed inkable 2-1 for 2 lore, Aladdin, vanilla.
Trash.
Trash? Okay, so here's interesting, right? Like, I think it takes a lot for vanilla to be trash, and not just vanilla. I almost feel like if really this shouldn't be trash mid solid spicy, it should be trash vanilla.
Okay.
Solid spicy. And the vanilla has to really do something good to push into mid.
There are some really good vanillas, and there's some even in Steel, but this guy would be vanilla if that's what you want, but he's trash.
He's trash. That's fine. Yeah, there's a lot of other things you'd probably pay in the 2-costed slot, so yeah. Okay,
right.
We're off. We've gone from one extreme to the other. Everyone, I won't lie to you, Dan, everyone else who's done this, like, I had to coax spices and trashes out of them.
No, we're not doing
on
that.
The fence.
Listen, all right, I don't have a filter. We're just going to go with it. And we're going to go with it.
5-costed inkable 4-4 for 2 beast with break. Break on a stick.
He's a solid, for sure. That's a good card.
I'm surprised at how little of the item destruction we're seeing get played.
Yeah.
In it. Like, there's literally this and break, I think,
and
options.
Like, and befuddle.
Yeah, I guess, as long as like soft removal. But with the item slingers package in Sapphire looking pretty strong, I'm surprised I'm not seeing this get more play. And maybe we will once more people get to it and actually start getting decks out.
I don't want to spend too much time on it, but like, this is the kind of card when it's inkable, and there's no real downside to it. Like, it's still 2 lore character. It's 5. It can sing all your good songs. Like, you could just play 4 of this card and like just
ignore break and it's still
right. Yeah,
fine.
Just don't play that card.
yeah. No, but I'm not saying is like ignore the ability on this. And
Right,
it's still
right.
okay.
It's still it's still a playable card.
Yeah. Lovely. Beast Mirror, 2-costed inkable. Tap and pay 3. If you have no cards in your hand, draw a card.
I think it's mid. I think there's going to be times where it's solid, and then there's going to be times when it's trash. So I'll give it a mid.
We'll go somewhere in the middle. I think, like, card draw's pretty scarce in the game in general. So anything that gives you card probably sits a little higher than it might do later on.
Right.
It's fine. Break to break banish chosen item.
This is just the mid one too. I mean, it's probably borderline trash if I'm being completely honest. But considering, like we just said like a minute ago, there's just not enough answers in the world. And if like item slingers get super out of hand, then you probably would maybe even include a couple of copy these.
Yeah, this is a meta response card. I think if item slingers does end up firing off, like I think it might.
You might feel forced or compelled to have to play this card.
Yeah, in the same way that like if you're playing in limited Magic. And you see, and like, what's the one? Is it like Defenestrate or something? It's like to kill target flying creature or something like that. And it's like, do you know what? I just need to get rid of the flyers because they're over the top. And I think this is that. It's going to be, I just need to get rid of the items that they're playing.
If it gets to the point where you have to remove cards like Ursula's necklace or like even like Cauldron, Ursula's card, both the Ursula items, right? Like if it gets to the point where you're like, I got to get that off the board before 5. And this card's gonna be good.
Yeah, the only thing I think might bring it down a little bit is that in that item slingers deck, a lot of the time it doesn't really matter what the items are. It's just having a lot of them.
The item slingers are a little different. This would be outside of item slingers, I think. It's like like the Cauldron is if it's like a true the Amethyst decks need this to work this well. Yeah. And you're like, well, I'm gonna cut off your uninkable card like. Just on my turn 2 or on my turn 3, that means you only really gained slight card acknowledge.
Just shut it down before he gets out of hand, kind of thing. Yeah.
So it might be good.
Full costed uninkable 3/4 with 1 lore Captain Hook. This is the guy that brings back Fire the Cannons from discard.
He's solid. Jolly Roger's pretty great. You gotta give him a thumbs up. I mean, every time he gets you back a Fire the Cannons, he's awesome. And when he's not, he's still 3/4, which is not the worst stats ever at 4 cost.
I think you're right. Yeah, I'm happy to put him at solid. I think if we'd have done this video like midway through set reveals, I think he would almost be spicy. Cause like he was super strong earlier on when there was less going on. He's dropped. He's been a little bit outpaced with the full set, but I still think he's good. I'll be honest with you, I kind of like all the hooks. The next one as well. 1 costed inkable, 1/2 for 1 lore with Challenger +2. This is the Forceful Duelist.
This is our 1 cost one, right?
This is the 1 cost one, yeah.
I actually think he's kind of mid. Like, there's definitely going to be strategies that want him, but I also think there's going to be a lot of strategies that don't. But he's definitely not trash. Like, there's no way this card's trash. So
yeah, I go with that. I like him a lot. I love the art and I love the flavor of him. And he was one of the first. He's one of the OG 6, right? Like, there's always going to be a special spot for him for us.
That's fair.
He comes down on turn 1 and dies to something turn 2 or 3, right? Like that. He trades up into something and he's done his job.
If you can trade him up, he's phenomenal. When you can't, he's just like he's just the guy on the board that maybe got me a lore or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair. And then the last one, 5 costed, uninkable 2/5 for 1 lore, Captain Hook. Thinking Happy Thor, he's got Shift 3 and then Challenger 3. And characters with cost 3 or less can't challenge this character. A lot of words on this card.
Yeah, so I'm going to go off book and he's going to be spicy just because of the Floodborn art.
Okay, so you're the first, you're the first person to actually genuinely consider the art in the rating.
The art on this is way too good not to make this card spicy, and I do think he's going to have a moment in the sun in some steel deck. Like he's packing a lot for a potential 3 cost 5/5. So
yeah, 3 cost 5/5, 3 cost 5/5 with rush.
Right, exactly. Like he's
that's pretty good, I think.
He's gonna see play, in my opinion. But
and he's the floodiest of all the Floodborns.
Right, he just gets the extra bonus because the art is A+.
It's absolutely spot on. Five costed Inkable, excuse me, a 5/6 1 lore Cerberus.
Mid.
Yeah, it's
like for a long time, this was like probably a really solid card, and I still think it's potential to see play depending on your ink matchups. But within the color itself, it's fallen down. But its stats for a 5-cost 5/6, its stats they're undeniable.
It's like it's an early ramp target in a Steel Sapphire deck, but there are better things to hit in that.
It's not
deck.
the card you want to play on turn 4 in most cases.
Yeah. Is this the card you want to play on turn 4? 4-costed Inkable 2/5 for 1 lore Donald Duck Musketeer. He has Bodyguard and Stay Alert. Bodyguards get evasive. Sorry, Musketeers get evasive.
He's gonna be trash for me.
I could have sat with mid, but I think I'd go with that as well. I was very excited about the Musketeer deck. Until I saw this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just not good. There's in any which way I think about it, this card's worse than so many options that there's no way you're going to play this card. And even if you're in a niche Musketeer deck, well, you're not going to win a lot of games.
No, I wonder if set 2 gives us another 3 Musketeers.
Absolutely.
We can look at it.
It's evergreen. We can come back to that in like 3 months.
I think, because I'm a bit of a smooth brain player. I don't play incredibly competitively, so I'm a big fan of Typal decks. I'm a big fan of
I think they're great.
For sure. And I was really thinking this would be, and it's not, unfortunately.
There's not enough support yet. Like this will be like slivers in Magic, since we've already brought Magic terms in. Like, so eventually, if they make enough Musketeers, then you might be able to have some fun with this card eventually.
Yeah. 1 costed on Inkable action, fire the cannons, deal 2 damage.
Oh, spicy.
It's spicy, right?
As spicy as it gets. I mean, this card's phenomenal. The fact that you can get it back, oh, Jesus. Incredible.
Ever since we saw it, like it's been great. Like, it hasn't dipped or got better, or it's just always been pure spice.
Well, it's even better because there's nothing else that can test with it. Like, it's just that good.
Yeah, Emerald's got the worst version.
It's like the worst version that's ever.
Yeah.
So,
it's spicy. It's spicy. 2 costed Inkable item, frying pan, clang, banish this item. Next chosen character can't challenge.
Throw it in the trash can.
Trash. We're like this, man. We're absolutely up and down.
Take that fire pan right to the trash can.
Yeah, it's trash, right? Like,
not for me.
So, if this said chosen character can't quest,
it would be better.
Well, yeah. Do you think it'd be much better?
It would be mid, probably.
Yeah. I just think these one-hit items,
they got to be like really good.
Like, like, why is it not an action? Like, the idea that you're just sort of telegraphing it by having to spread it over 2. Well, no, it's not spreading it over 2 turns because it's not. It doesn't have.
It can be the turn you play it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's just.
So these only really are better than an action if it's like an item matters thing, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's the only time it's really, because there's no interaction with any of it. So it's never gonna be good.
Okay. 8 costed Inkable 6/6 for 2 Gantu. Characters with cost 2 or less can't challenge your characters.
This card's trash.
It's trash.
Trash. There's no way I'm playing.
I'll be honest, Dan. I knew I wouldn't have much issue getting trash calls out of you.
To this day, I do not understand this character's point.
No,
I don't get it. Like what point in the game are we getting to where my 1 and 2 cost characters are ever going to want to challenge? Like
the fact that it's a 6/6 is what means the 2s don't challenge. It's not the ability, right?
Like what?
A lot of the times with some of the weaker cards, we'll kind of hedge our bets and say, well, maybe we'll see something else in the future. I can't imagine what card makes this better.
Unless there's literally a card that says 2 or cost can't quest. and then it's like a prison against aggro decks that somehow grab your sword is not better against, which is unrealistic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
Just kill him. Just kill him with grab your sword. Exactly. Yeah.
Goes bad.
And a legendary. Can you imagine? We just did Ruby with Brandon, and there's the super rare Takai. It's like an 8-costed
it's
rush.
Trash also.
It's very trash. And I was like, can you imagine opening a pack and you're super rare and legendary, but it's Takai and Gansu?
Yeah. I mean, like, for what it's worth, at a market value, I'm sure it's still worth something, but it's not going to feel very good.
I want one of them for a binder.
And
that's it.
These are the cards. I have no problem getting that one signed. It's like, you know what? I'm never gonna get rid of this anyway. It's just gonna sit in a binder. I'm not gonna play with it. I'm not gonna devalue it in any way. It'll be my trophy.
1-costed inkable 2/2 for 1. This is the steel part of the cycle. This is Goons.
He's mid.
Yeah, it's mid, right? Like, what I think is interesting with this cycle is that some of them are a little better because of the color they're in.
Yeah, like I think the Duke is particularly the best one in my opinion.
Oh, really? Just because he's a villain, or?
I think it adds, but I also think that Emerald needed it more than like any of these other colors.
Just because it's the start of the curve for Emerald. That's fair. Yeah, and I think the Amber and the Amethyst ones both, but like because the colors.
Yeah, I mean like Stitch is just like only really gonna ever be played with Stitch, so like he's niche incredible. Yeah. But the others are all just like.
It's fine. 5-costed. Uninkable action song. Grab your sword. Deal 2 damage to each opposing character.
Spicy as it gets.
This is spicy, right? Like
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Anyone that's not putting this in their deck, you're doing it wrong. All right, put this card in your deck.
This is a 4 of. I have seen. I've seen plays where the first one's sung and then they just cast the second one and it's doing 4 on a turn.
Just do whatever. The damage in this game doesn't go away. This card is never going to be bad. It's always.
Is it good enough to make Lady Tremaine good?
No.
There's no action in the game.
You're letting me get extra trash comments in on this. This is great. She's also trying to think. I'm helping everyone else out.
Spicy. A 4-costed inkable 3/3 for 2 with hands. Stage little accident. Whenever this character quests, you can deal 1 damage to chosen character.
This is spicy.
Oh, spicy. I'm
looking forward to playing this card. I think this card's gonna be really good.
I think the ping damage is
it adds a layer to the grab your swords. It adds a layer to Tinkerbell. It adds a layer to fire the cannons. Like it makes all of these cards that you're playing already better.
Just a little bit better.
And he's got 3 lore. Like okay,
2 lore.
Oh my bad, 2 lore. Yeah,
for 2. That's still fine for 4.
Yeah, 2 lore with a free access to potential removal. Sign me up.
Yeah,
and he's inkable.
He's inkable, yeah. Jesus. He's good. Yeah, spicy. You're right. He's spicy.
He's spicy. I convinced you. I'm glad I convinced you.
You've traded me up there, yeah.
Spicy.
3-costed inkable 3/3 for 1. Hercules Bodyguard.
I'm going to go mid, in all honesty. Okay. I think this card was really good, like, earlier on,
right? Yeah.
And I'm just gonna find better things to do in the game. I think on this turn.
I think he's been outpaced. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff competing for that slot.
He was much better like before all the rush cards came in too. I mean, like the fact that Zeus can just come in, get rid of him. The fact that Rafiki can come get him.
Yeah, even Rafiki
trading with him. Like, there's just so many ways that you're not actually protecting your characters. So it's like if he can't do his job, then he's He's gonna be he's cool in the Musketeer deck also with Musketeer's Tabard, but you're probably playing that card outside of the Musketeer deck, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that. We'll do it when we get to it. 3-costed inkable 3/3 for 2. Kristoff.
He's mid.
Yeah, it's a vanilla, right? Like I say, vanilla has to do a lot to be really truly trash or really truly solid.
Yeah. Like this card's not trash. Like he has 2 lore and a 3/3 for 3. Like he's playable. So
would you play him over Hercules?
There's a chance. Like it depends on obviously the mold of the deck. Like if what's more important. But
maybe that 1 extra lore.
Yeah, the extra lore is definitely more enticing.
The bodyguard.
They're both worth like a quote, like an attribute or a resource, right? So it's more or less like, what does my deck need more? How do I want to pressure things like that?
Six-costed, inkable, 6/6 for 2. Kronk. Just a big old vanilla.
I actually think Kronk's pretty solid. 6/6 for 6 is like he eats a lot of stuff. Like he just smacks him around and says, "I'm Kronk." So I think this is a pretty solid card. I think he's going to see and like a pretty good amount of play actually, and I think people are actually might even overlooking him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we were saying before about hey, if you'd like steal Sapphire and you're ramping up, you're playing this over Cerberus. He's all day long, right?
Yeah. You can put him like playing him on 5 is good, and for multiple reasons. Like either it's like okay, I'm either just getting my 2 lore, and then they have to deal with my 6/6, or this guy is going to challenge and remove anything in the play right now. Like at this point in the game, probably anything in like that's in play.
I think you're right, yeah. Solid vanilla. Lovely. 3-costed, inkable, 4/2 for 2. Lilo, Galactic Hero.
Mid.
Yeah.
It might even be trash.
It might even be. If it wasn't for the art, I think I would have forgot this card existed.
You were just reading the stats, and I'm just like, I don't know what this card is. Now, to preface, I did tell you before we started, like I didn't look at any cards in Steel today on purpose. So like, I'm just trying to go off the cuff, and I'm like, I don't know what this card is.
No. Again, if it wasn't because we saw that art like super early, it was one of the images from the website, and that's maybe another thing that makes me feel even less about it is because I think on all the cards where we saw the art early, I think we kind of all hyped them up a little bit. We
had to. Of course, we had to.
And then it came out, and we were all like, "Oh, it might be like a Floodborn Lilo," and you know.
I mean, if anyone was catching up on what Lorcana Dad was saying, he was like, "It's gonna be this awesome." It's not.
It really wasn't. Sorry, Lorcana Dad.
Hashtag Team Steel.
An 8-drop inkable, 8/8 for 3, Maui.
Oh, he's spicy. I love it. And people were so angry about this card. They were so angry, but he's so big. He's got 3 lore. You can ramp into him earlier. This card's great.
I think, I agree. I think he is spicy. I think when he was revealed, we hadn't seen that much ramp.
Yeah.
And like he needs to be ramped into.
There's a lot of ramp now.
And now there is, he needs to be ramped into.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he's outpaced by a lot of stuff in that area, I think.
Yeah, I mean the 3 lore 8/8 is still like a massive body to play, like even if it's just on 8.
Yeah.
So like even at the very least he would be solid, but I think with certain pairings, like he just gets the spicy.
He just gets a little
he's
bit
a big
of spice.
Come on, he's a big boy, man. You gotta love it. You gotta appreciate it.
I'm excited to see more. Like I think the other thing that maybe people didn't like about it is that Maui as a character is like thematically,
incredibly
shapeshifts
charismatic.
And maybe that was another thing people were like, oh, it's just a vanilla, but no, you're right. It's a solid. He's
a big boy.
Card, 6-costed, inkable, 2/7 for 2 lore. Mickey Mouse Musketeer. He has bodyguard, and all for 1. Other Musketeers get +1 to their strength.
I want to give him trash, but I'm gonna give him mid.
Do you want to give him trash just because like the Musketeers currently are trash?
like he's just not like this card's not very good in general. I can't really find a spot where I'm gonna play this card in anything that I want because there's just so many better things you can be doing at this cost. So like he's gonna be mid because there's a chance that he gets playable.
Yeah, I think he's the best of the Musketeers, if that's to say anything.
I don't know. I might edge Goofy.
Really? Because doesn't Goofy give everything bodyguard?
No, he's a lower costed character, but he only heals Musketeers, so it doesn't matter. But he's a lower costed character, and he's a 3/5, I think, or 3/6. Right. So he has a higher strength for a bodyguard, and he's lower cost, which is why I think I like Goofy more. But none of them are that great.
No, that's fair. He's my favorite of the Musketeers, but I'll go mid. 4-costed, uninkable item, Musketeer Tabard, all for 1 and 1 for all. Whenever one of your characters with bodyguard is banished, you may draw a card.
Man, this is like a solid mid. Like this is like right. It's on the cusp of being good, but then it's also like on the end of like this is only going to be played in fringe niche situations.
Yeah.
So when it's good, it's great. I think.
I think.
But when it's not good, it's very bad.
I think if it was inkable, it would be. I mean, you can say this about all non-inkable.
Yeah,
cards, if it was inkable, it would be better. My only issue with this is that it gets better. The more bodyguards you have. Yeah. But bodyguards get worse the more bodyguards you have. Because if everything has bodyguard, then nothing has bodyguard.
Well, yeah, but that means every one of your card, when they banish, you draw a card. So, I mean, you still, like, as long as they're good cards.
Is that just enough? Yeah.
As long as they're good cards that have other impact on the game other than just the keyword of bodyguard, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 4 cost, uninkable, you kind of, like, have to leverage it right away to make the card like advantage like good for you.
Yeah, you need to hit it on curve. You don't want it.
Yeah. If you get this card like after turn 4 or 5, like it'll really.
It's clogging your hand up before it, and it's
and even on turn 4, after it. Like on turn 4, you're accepting that you're kind of taking a turn off. Like you're like, I'm just gonna like not advance my board state and just hope that I can out advantage my opponent with draw power now.
3-costed uninkable item, Plasma Blaster. You can exert it and pay 2 to deal 1 damage to chosen character.
This is trash.
Yeah, it's really trash. This
is toy gun and throw it out.
This possibly could be the worst rare.
Like in the game or in Steel?
Maybe. Nothing's jumping out at me as.
It's really low.
So the problem is, this was technically the last card of the set to be revealed.
Was it?
Because it came in the last lump, and it's 204. So anyone going through, it was the last card we saw. And what a disappointment.
Yeah, this card's bad. And I'm a finger guns, like water guns kind of guy, but like I'm not a plasma gun guy.
It's just not enough. What would so just out of interest, what would make it better? Like still keeping it the same kind of card, but what would make it better?
I mean, reducing the cost to use it would help.
It should be just exert to deal 1, I think.
I mean, exert to deal 1 would be probably really good.
Yeah.
Like I think you could make an argument that if it cost it more but did 2, it might be more playable.
Okay.
Well,
2 just kills a lot more stuff, I guess.
Right, like 2 is a lot better than 1, so either it costs less to do 1 or it costs 1 more to do 2. And I think you would be like a pretty solid card, actually.
Yeah. 2-costed inkable 1/3 for 1 lore. Prince Eric, he has Challenger +2.
I'm going to give this card mid. He's another one, like, without any real, like, Prince support or anything going on yet. Like, he doesn't, like, a lot of the things don't matter.
Yeah.
And like with a 1/3, your chances of like trading up to a 4 is like your opponent's just not gonna let you do that, right? Like it's not gonna happen. So
for me personally, Challenger was a keyword that when I first read it, I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
It was really, really good, and then rushed out.
And then I started to actually see play and.
Yeah. Like you can't afford to turn your guy sideways and then it just die and you never get like you're just a vanilla 1/3, right? Like. If you can't use Challenger, then you're just the 2-cost 1/3 with like your vanilla, like
nothing else going on. Yeah.
So, yeah.
2-costed inkable action ransack. Draw 2, discard 2.
This card's mid probably. I haven't played with it yet, but I mean it's probably mid. It probably has some use.
I've seen 1 play of it so far, and I was playing the starter decks with Franz from Travis Tavern. And I had enough on the board to win next turn if I just passed. I was like, the only thing you can do is draw some kind of targeted removal, right? Like, we were both top decking. I was like, I'm going to risk it. And he was playing the Steel Sapphire deck, so he got cannons and he got smashes, you know. But I was like, at this point, math is for blockers, right? Like, I'll pass it and, you know.
Yeah. Like he has to have it. Like,
yeah. And he drew a ransack, top decked it. And I was like, oof.
Yeah.
That is possibly the worst top deck in the game.
Yeah. But, like, it's a card that likely, again, like, any type of synergy with discarding, any type of synergy with drawing, like anything that comes out, this card goes up in value a ton. So
yeah, so this with a whole new world, and then is it Bell that cares about stuff in the discard? No, who is it? There's one. Isn't there something that cares about stuff in the discard? And they get.
I mean, there's like do it again, like to get things back and stuff like that, I guess. But
oh no, Bell she wants 10 ink, right?
Yeah,
That's
Bell is
yeah.
your
That's
ink
what
one.
I'm thinking of. Sorry,
It's you, man. Bell is you, right?
But we will. Definitely, there's cards coming that care about the number of cards in your discard, right? It's a natural game like mechanic to me. So yeah, there'll be villains who care about it most likely. So this may well jump up from mid, but yeah. I think mid is fair. One costed inkable 1/2 for 1 Simba with a loot. You get to draw and discard on play.
I think this card is solid. I think it's one of the 1-cost characters that I'm okay playing because it's going to help me just get through the early turns as best as possible in a deck that has a ton of uninkables.
Yeah.
So it's card sifting that allows for better card accusation.
Yeah.
So
I'd say that. Yeah, solid little 1 drop. 7 costed. Inkable 4/6 for 2 Simba Returned King. I always get the Simbas all mixed up. This is the Challenger 4. And gains evasive. This is a bigger. What's the other one that gains the challenger that gains evasive? Oh no, Robin Hood gains evasive, but he's not challenger. Yeah, so Simba, 4/6/2 challenger +4 gains evasive.
He's mid. He's fine.
Yeah,
he was way better when there wasn't enough removal going around, but now for 7 you can just do so many other things that
he kills anything, right? That's
well, yeah,
almost
except for Triton, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing.
What's Monstrous Dragon?
Well, that's a 5, so
no problems there.
Triton is the only 9 willpower, I think.
Yeah, so almost it kills anything that's exerted. This thing is taken out, but that's still not enough. I don't think.
So does most of the other cards you can play for. But yeah, he's fine. He'll see play, But he's
5 costed, uninkable 3/5 for 2. Another Simba. When it's your turn and this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain a lore.
It's mid. I don't think it's trash. It has a unique ability, but it's super fringe. Maybe if. I'm convincing myself it's trash, actually. I'm literally speaking out loud. I think I'm speaking out loud and going, this is a 5-cost uninkable in an ink that has a lot of really good uninkables. So I normally take uninkables and I put them in their own little avenue because you're only going to play so many, and there's not a good chance that this card's going to see play over a lot of other inkables. And on top of that, you already have. Now they're both songs, but Grab Your Swords and A Whole New World are both uninkables at 5 also. So it's just looking at curve, this card's probably trash.
I think that's the only real problem with it, honestly. I think if in a vacuum, I actually think this is pretty good. It's doing Steel wants to challenge a lot of the time, and you are just getting a bonus for challenging. But it's the opportunity cost that wipes this one out. There's so much other stuff you would rather do with.
I'm honestly shocked. This is only 3 strength. Why is it only 3 strength?
This needs to be a 5/5, or it needs to be inkable. Or it needs to give you if it gave you the 2 lore that you wouldn't get off it questing.
Yeah, that would be way better. That would help.
That would be that would.
I think that's still fair. I don't even think it's unfair.
No, that's what I mean. I don't feel I don't understand why this is uninkable. I just
There's a couple cards like that I'm like, why is that card uninkable? I don't get it. This is one of them for sure.
Lady Tremaine's another one.
Oh yeah.
3. Well, she's more why is this card printed? Not so much why is it illegal. 3 costed. So with the emerald shade, it's my favorite color. It genuinely is. It's even still with the emerald shade. We're literally when we finish this, we're swapping over.
Facts.
And I'm doing a TED talk about how great emerald is.
We can tell you Tremaine's not going to be mentioned in that TED talk.
3 costed inkable action. Smash, deal 3 damage. Spicy, right? Spicy. It's weird
every deck.
that
almost every steel deck will play this card.
A lot of the spicy steel cards, there's not much to say about them, right? They do what they say on the tin.
They're just good.
They're just, you know what you're doing with it. Just get it done.
Yeah.
5 costed, inkable, 5 for. This is another card. I've got absolutely no idea what the hell this card is. I'm going to make it bigger. 5 costed, inkable, 5/4 for 1 law, Starkey. Oh yeah, I captain. When you have a captain character in play, this character gets +1 law.
It's probably mid. It has an evergreen ability, but like I wish it was more like Mulan. Like I wish it gave your captains +1 lore. That would obviously make this card very solid. But yeah, it's probably just mid. Like as a 5/4 inkable that might be 2 lore. It's like if captains ever become a thing, like this is a playable card in that deck. So yeah, I don't think it's trash.
No, I think it's mid. I think it's mid, and it gets stronger with more sets. So like and a lot of the like characteristic focused cards are going to be that, right?
Yeah,
like they'll just get better.
There's a lot of evergreen. There's a lot of evergreen in Chapter 1.
Because at the moment. Like it's Hook, right? Like they're your options. I think there's the horse in Ruby, and there's the
John Silver also.
John Silver and Gantu. Is Gantu captain?
I mean, if it is, it doesn't matter.
No, he is. Yeah, he is a captain. That's it. I think they're your captains. So in Steel you've got Hook, and then you're either going Emerald with Silver, which is he's pretty solid, or you're going Ruby with that the horse vanilla, which you're not doing, right? So yeah, it's not there yet, but in the future perhaps.
Yeah.
6 costed, inkable, 5/5 for 2 to Kai, with the ability Seek the Heart. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore.
So I'm willing. This is probably the first one where I'm willing to be wrong. But I think this is mid. I think it reads solid, but I think it's gonna end up being mid because you need a little extra for this card to be that good, and like it's probably much better when you can like compound it with other stuff and set it up more. But I think like just as a flat card, I think it's just mid.
That's fair. I think it's probably a little better than you're giving it credit for, but I haven't really played with it. I will also say that like when you read this card, you realize how bad that Simba is. Right? Like this is just.
It's not close. It's
one more ink, and it's
what happened here. This is inkable. It's got better stats. It gives me what happened. Why did they go him down? Right? Why did they go down on him?
And also. You're playing this. You've got to watch out for that Moana in Ruby that'll kill it, because that's going to see loads of play.
Hey, Ruby is filled with silver bullets. All right, it's like the ultimate kill werewolf deck. It's great.
Man, if you don't say this is spicy, I don't know what's going on.
This is extra spicy.
6 costed, inkable, 4/5 for 2. Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy, Shift 4. Or everything else. Rock the boat. This
is the spiciest card in the game.
I think so. I think
there's only one other card that I would say that exact statement for, but like this is the spiciest card in the game. This card's phenomenal.
Just
read it, right? Like if you just read the card, you're like
it just keeps going. There are other cards that are more boring, but will probably more consistently get you value. A lot of the action songs, I think, like Be Prepared and the Part of Your World, Whole New Worlds and stuff, like just probably arguably more consistently better value. But this is exactly what I want a top end card in this game to be. Like
all of the songs, they get immediate effect. Like Tink does immediate effect and still more. Like she's still there, she still gets other things. She still forces your opponent to make terrible trade. Like this card is, it's got to be, if not the best card, one of the best cards in the game.
And then finally, the target for Giant Fairy is the 3-costed inkable 2/4 Tinkerbell Tiny Tactician. You can exert her to lose.
This card's solid because of Tinkerbell, but on so many levels too. Like just the moment you play her, your opponent's like, wait. You know,
yeah. Even without Giant Fairy, I still think she's pretty good.
I think 2/4 is a really underrated stat line on a 3-cost character in the game, and I think it's going to be one of the prevailing things when the meta starts to develop. I even think like the 2/4 Faciliary in Amethyst, like at face value, doesn't look spectacular, but like the 2/4 stat line might play a dividends. And I think that's the same thing with this Tinkerbell.
I think you're right. The four willpower, especially, it's
willpower on
that break point, right? It's that break point.
It's absolute break point, and I think that as we get more involved in the game and really develop like the lines, I think people are going to find that out.
But saying all that, like I say, like it should be pretty good on her own. Having her down and having the possibility of having a Giant Fairy in your hand is enough.
Yeah, and then it's my favorite is like the next turn, just like I'll just exert her and I'll just draw a card.
Yeah, just gonna go I just don't mind me. I'm just desperately trying to find the Giant Fairy. I won't be a sec.
It's cool. Your turn.
Well, I think I know what the answer is because we just spoke. But out of all of the steel cards, who would you say is your super spiciest steel card?
Oh, it's Tinkerbell. You can't
all day long.
Can't argue. It's so good. The card is so much. Not only is it so good, it's like fulfilling when you play it. Right? You're like, I can't believe my opponent let me do all of this.
all in one set. Like there's not much in this game that has. I don't think there's a single card that has the most impact when it hits. Like the closest is something like a genie that bounces or something like or Maleficent that just banishes something.
Right, but all those are like a literal single target, and this character can legitimately come into play and just clear out 3 things. And still be there, like she's still there.
Yeah, just superb, absolutely awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dan. Where can people find you, my friend?
I am Dan from the Forbidden Mountain. You can find me anywhere. We're TFM Lorcana, pretty much everywhere.
There'll be links in the description for it as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Jonathan.
You're welcome. It's been a lot of fun. Everyone else, thank you for watching. Subscribe and like and all the YouTube stuff. Until the next one, be good.